Rule 1133, Emotional Abduction, also known as Seal an Emotion Card, a master-level ejection technique. Softly focus on blocking and ignoring an emotional feeling or a subconscious emotional reflex and deny its full-blown activation before it starts get rooted in your mind. You have to understand that the unintuitiveness factor comes from the fact that you search for emotional thoughts and routines from your conscious and subconscious mind. You want to mess with and simply block it, which means postponing it by putting it in an ineffectual limbo until it either withers in the absence of attention or you simply no longer care about it. The habitual connections in the brain weaken and get destroyed when not used in a while. Eventually its activation has close to zero effect on you. Just keep actively, softly blocking the target thoughts, with a little distraction if you have to, and you will be fine. This is not a mind control concept and more like the complete opposite. MC, hard control and pushing for extra actions versus EA, the eager absorption, soft self-obstructive ideas and less routinous actions. Mind control simply does not work due to it being a mere hard focus that simply devours and blocks your natural imagination, read, emotions and motivations, and leaves you extremely reluctant to do virtually anything. This is highly unintuitive and that nature can be used to dispose of harmful personal routines like the ignored self-worth. Not letting yourself do something harmful is a great principle to use to knock off that habit from your routine. Plucking off an emotional thought before it gets any momentum is surprisingly effortless. Just thinking of something else and discrediting it based on its emotional vanity is usually enough. Do not use the strong focus unnecessarily. The finesse of this technique is to close off the hindrances while maintaining the uncompromised lightness of mind. In other words, maximizing the utility of your mind afterwards. Hard focus is useful for clouding unwanted, persisting, highly emotional moods like the misfortune and the shock of change that could otherwise leave your mind unsettled for a couple days. Misfortune is the mood that comes from over-focusing on failure and the sense of loss. It is the polar opposite of actualized, greedy outcome. Like with most displeasing moods, the best curative approaches involve admitting loss and thus closing the book on further unmotivating, removing the current mood elements with suitable emotions such as anger, the emotion of change, and getting busy with other stuff. Shock of change is a mood generated by significant undesirable change in the environment and personal arrangements. Accepting the new status quo is critically effective against any kind of a change. Adapting is needed to convert the shock and the tension into excitement. A point of view and attitude changes are usually required to change the sensations. Examples of thoughts to block: all forms of anxiety, insecurity, unfounded self-observations, raw mindless ambitions, and low priority need-oriented thoughts that distract you from pushing for your goals for even slightly. One way to view this technique is as a form of eliminating the insecurities you do not like and providing less disposable focus to replace the insecure focus with. It introduces a light emotional lock and control for insecurity. You simply do not let any insecurity to settle in. The free focus is great for stimulating your imagination with humor and other ideas. An advanced use: block multiple emotions at once. In contrary to one's intuition, the extra cost is negligible. It is okay to go bravely hardcore into any counterintuitive tangents you want. A powerful ejection technique like this one is required for survival if you are working in an emotion or knowledge-intensive environment. An ability to keep at least some of your focus unoccupied and not overrun is the key to maintaining and applying your strategies without limits. Keeping some of your mind unoccupied at all times gives you an access to your ideas of the moment that you would otherwise not get. It gives you more options. It is important as high-level performance tends to be more about skill and careful planning than raw power. You can train this technique by blocking light emotions such as cheerful, reinforcing emotions. It could be something simple as, for example, still being able to walk and think a bit. It is difficult to not find a statement like, "No, I'm not going to feel good about my ability to walk today." Amusing. Keeping things simple helps you notice the small improvements in your performance. You might even end up enjoying that ability later because of your intimate thoughts while withholding it. Rationing one's pleasure that way makes one feel more powerful, just like anything involving the control over yourself. For instance, the ability to postpone self-rewarding tends to coincide with high intelligence. Pluck off all the emotions that prevent you from feeling great, or not too great if that is what you desire, about yourself. Rule 1134, if you know all about what you have, you don't have much.